This is FNN, where we give facts, not nonsense. Okay, so today our storyline is that the Alabama Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos are babies. This is a really monumental ruling, especially from the carry-on from Roe v. Wade. The number one thing, this raises legal concerns for parents who may use vitro fertilization to freeze an embryo. If an embryo is a baby, then you can't freeze babies, obviously. It has ties to Roe v. Wade. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre and the Biden administration have repeatedly called for codification of Roe v. Wade. This is kind of exploiting the loophole in that ruling. 1/6 of U.S. families do struggle with infertility, and that is kind of why this ruling is so monumental on a large group of people. In the justice ruling, which was read and the brief, there was no really laid out plan. There was a lack of clarification. The judges failed to really specify what was legal, what was illegal in terms of vitro fertilization. They didn't say it was illegal. So it's all still a very confusing ruling, and it's still in a work in process. All right, so election 2024, we have just 3 days till the next primary in South Carolina. So number one thing here is general election polling at the top. Now, Haley Biden's on the left, Trump Biden's on the right. This does not include RFK. Nikki Haley, despite having a lesser vote share than Donald Trump in these polls, does lead Joe Biden by over 3%, while from Donald Trump is only leading Joe Biden by about 2%. And that's interesting kind of in the swap because Haley is losing by about 60% in polling to Donald Trump. Donald Trump-associated lawyers such as Sidney Powell and Lynn Wood face legal penalties and legal fees for all the people that they sued in the aftermath of January 6th and the election. Nikki Haley has began her final dash after a 2-week bus tour around South Carolina. She's expected to lose, but she really doesn't want to close the gap. She has vowed to stay in the race through Super Tuesday. If you look at the Republican primary schedule, Saturday's the South Carolina primary, followed by the Michigan primary. The next week, you'll see the Iowa caucus, the Michigan awarded delegates, the Missouri caucus, the D.C. primary, North Dakota caucus. Day after that, Super Tuesday, March 5th. All right, news for February 21. Joe Biden has canceled $1.5 billion in student loan debt for 150 borrowers. Roughly $10,000 per borrower was canceled. This move was made ahead of a fundraiser in Los Angeles today that he will be attending. So for your stocks, the Dow was up 48.44 or 0.13 of a percentage point. Nasdaq was down about 50 points or just around 0.3. Mixed day for the stocks as the S&P was barely up 629 or about also 0.13, same as the Dow. And your weather for today, U.S. temperatures and New England snow. So the U.S. high temperatures today, obviously still a swath wave of heave in the southwest, although not really too warm, but it kind of stays that way. A really average temperatures, even a bit above average across most, although that's kind of how the new normal has shifted to a little bit above average. And you'll be seeing more of the same really tomorrow. Maybe a bit warmer, kind of coming down, especially in places like Billings, Montana, where we'll hit the 50s. There's a storm system bringing maybe some lake effect snow to New England, really only about 1 to 3 inches. You can see kind of a condensed map here. Widespread 1 to 3 inches, western Massachusetts, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. The rain snow line is probably going to cut off around, Springfield, Massachusetts, kind of Massachusetts borderline, kind of that. So below there, you will not see much snow. This has been FNN, where we give facts, not nonsense. Thank you for watching.